lipstick on my teeth.
Okay, here we are. So, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Kathleen Taylor, and I am just so pleased to have a fantastic guest with me today at the Nevada Women's Business Center for a live stream, and we're going to talk about best practices for business TV. And I have with me co-owner of Screen Content Management, Ms. Jennifer Walsh. And I was just so delighted to meet Jennifer a few weeks ago at a panel discussion, and we were talking about marketing. And afterwards, we had a great conversation about her business and what she does. And we thought it would be a great idea to share that with you as entrepreneurs to explore this option of showcasing your business. So with that, let me share some background information about you with the audience. So thank you so much for being here, Jennifer.
Well, thank you, Kathleen, and
Awesome.
I appreciate that kind introduction.
Oh, sure, absolutely. So Jennifer Walsh is a founding partner of Screen Content Management, a Las Vegas-based technology firm that creates, manages, and delivers custom content to television screens and digital signs. Following the discovery of gaps in the marketplace, Jennifer and her partner Greg Chambers launched Screen Content Management. And also, Jennifer has worked on development and execution of campaigns for dental clients regionally, as well as Nevada's largest personal injury firm and Padron Spirits Motorsports. She uses knowledge of the various social platforms to custom craft campaign elements and call to actions to attract the desired market segment. So I find this fascinating in what you do. So why don't we start off with you sharing with the audience, some things about your company, about what you guys do in the marketplace.
Well, again, thank you for having me here, Kathleen.
Sure.
I very much appreciate it. And as you mentioned, Screen Content Management was born out of recognizing a gap in the marketplace. Here in Las Vegas, we have a great advantage of having beautiful examples of digital signs throughout our casinos that are using really great visuals and doing a great job of communicating that marketing message to their customers. That's something that takes a lot of time, a lot of resources, technology, hardware, and software. And so the casinos, as large organizations, have a very easy time adopting those kinds of things within their organizations. We recognize, though, that for someplace that's maybe not as big as an MGM or a Caesars Entertainment, that they don't have those sorts of internal resources. And so with that recognition, we took the time, did quite a bit of research and development, finding the right packages, putting things together so that we could create an outsourced option for businesses in the communities.
I think I find that fascinating because to kind of put this into perspective as to what Jennifer's firm is and their specialty, have you guys ever gone into like a dentist's office or a doctor's office or, some type of business, and you're sitting in the lobby and on the television you have like a personal infomercial, so to speak, of that business, and here you are in the lobby, and instead of reading a magazine, your attention is drawn hypothetically to the content that's on that television, and it's about that business and their products and services. So is that an example of what you do?
That definitely is. And we work very hard to make sure that our content can remain very engaging to the end user, to the patient who's come into the doctor's office or somebody who's entered a retail space, things like that. And so not only do we have the marketing message in your example for the dentist's office, but we also include entertainment or edutainment. So it might be information on how to live a healthy lifestyle, different new information about how to care for your teeth in your dentist's office, and things like this. Our primitive brains are designed to evaluate data and determine whether it is useful for us or not. And once we've received a marketing message, then our brains will turn away from that. but by combining it with entertainment and edutainment, we're able to make sure that that end user maintains their engagement and their attention to the screen, even when the marketing message comes along.
Wow. So I find that really interesting. So so when you do this, is there an issue of like copyright compliance issues, or how about a competitor? So here you have a client, and you can definitely capitalize upon your services, because instead of sitting down in a lobby and watching television, and you actually see content of possible competitors or copyright infringement, it's basically your show literally, on screen. And this is where you come into play. So could you elaborate on how your services helps to highlight the client versus their competitors?
So I think there was a couple of questions there. The first thing that I'd love to address would be the copyright issue, because I think there's a bit of misinformation out there, and it could put a business into a little bit of a hot water sort of a situation. And the biggest thing that I would say throughout my day that I see is that businesses are either streaming Netflix or Hulu or one of these other streaming services, or playing DVDs in their reception area or movies. And the misconception there is that because they've purchased the DVD or the Netflix account, that's a legal activity for them to do. Unfortunately, it does have ramifications of getting the business in hot water, because when you purchase a DVD or your Hulu subscription or your Amazon Prime, any of those streaming services, you're purchasing that for personal use, and they each specifically prohibit from what's considered public use.
Okay.
So any kind of a business that is displaying that, it is considered public use. And the hot water comes into effect that the Motion Picture Association of America has begun enforcing this particular issue. I've had the most knowledge of it within the dental industry, and there's a dentist in California that was fined $150,000 because of copyright infringement, and it was because they calculated back how many days have you been open, how many times a day have you played The Little Mermaid or whatever it may be on a loop, and those fines aggregated into that very large. So it is something to be aware of if you're a business owner and you're playing DVDs in your reception area or in your lobby, in your business, anywhere, that there is some risk. And they are, using this enforcement tool pretty heavily. In 2016, they had hired 10,000 agents in the western part of the United States alone.
I find that to be incredible, and I'm so glad that you're a guest here today, so that to let our audience know that instead of being at risk, for fines and possible litigation for copyright infringement for playing, The Little Mermaid or whatever it is in your lobby, that you can actually capitalize on your business in reference to content and educational content or product highlights. That could be you, 24/7 on the loop, so to speak, on the television. So what how do you, there's certain aspects of your business that includes, you have your own studio, you can feature clients in a customized video. So what does that entail? Like, could you walk us through the process of a client says, okay, Jennifer, I'm all for it, and where do we go from here?
Absolutely, I can walk you through the process. I do want to address just one thing.
Sure.
We are very aware of copyright issues, and so everything that we display for our customers, we ensure have zero risk as far as the copyrights are concerned. We purchase licenses for anything that we're displaying, so they can feel
Okay.
comfortable that their business is in the safe zone with screen content management.
Oh, excellent.
So as far as launching or onboarding new clients, there's a bit of an interview process that we go through to begin with, to understand the needs of that business, their marketing objectives, the values that they want to be sure that they are displaying to their customers. And in going through that, then we help develop what we call the campaign. And that includes the entertainment as well as the marketing information that we develop for them. The marketing information a lot of times comes from materials that they've already produced, whether it's commercials that they've produced, something for social media, or even something for print. All of those collaterals, we can leverage those so that investment that they made can be, again, used in another platform.
Oh, very good.
In addition to taking existing media, we develop media for them. We feel the best representation is on camera. You mentioned the dentist's office. To be able to walk into your dentist's office and sit down and have him personally greet you on the screen with an introduction and a thank you, to me, that's my best. I would love to see that. Not everybody's comfortable on camera, and it can be intimidating. And so in those cases, sometimes we'll do a photo and we'll do voiceover, or we'll do simply animation, and it's we take pictures of him and his family or information about his hobbies. But really, in those cases, that's meant to start that engagement, build that relationship between your guest, patient, or customer and the business before they even interact with a human being. And so that interview process goes through that, and then we produce those pieces for them using collateral that they've invested in, as well as production pieces that we develop for them.
Oh, that's great. And how do you outside of the office, how can someone use that content to further help with their promotions and marketing? Or is it only a captive audience in the lobby?
So our specialty really is for that internal customer.
Very good.
For our businesses who have done that hard work of grabbing somebody's attention and getting them to walk in the door.
Right.
Now, we do produce things that people use within their social media, or they use them on other campaigns and things like that. So if that's something that our customers want, we can absolutely develop it for them. It's just not the core of what we do. We really understand how to capture someone's attention once they've entered someone's business, and then get them to spend every bit of money that they have for that subject with the business that they've entered, or even advertise to them for other products that they didn't even necessarily know they wanted to purchase.
You really did touch upon something that grabbed my attention specifically, and when it comes to my background in entrepreneur development, and that is your client works so hard in getting that person there in their place of business. So why not showcase who you are and what you do to that captive client, that captive audience, so to speak. So I think it's just ingenious, quite frankly, and quite innovative for you to take a video platform, so to speak, and create a niche market, or not create a niche market, but enter into that niche market that isn't being specifically served. And I really do commend you on being that, innovator and visionary as an entrepreneur. So I'm just really ecstatic that you're growing and thriving, within your own, realm of entrepreneurship. I think that's fantastic, Jennifer.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome. Now, I'm just curious, just to kind of delve a little bit into your own background, so to speak, if I may. What motivated you to look at this particular industry, or just to, go for it, so to speak, as a business owner?
Well, as many people probably who are entrepreneurs, it was not a direct path
Yes, it's always
from A
like
to
that.
B to end up where we are today, or even a year ago. We're in a wildly different position than we once were. But at the time that I decided to leave my corporate job,
Wow.
our vision was for photo and video production. And within the midst of growing our photo and video production business, that's when we really recognized this niche need that I mentioned before. The Caesars Entertainments and the MGMs and the Targets have got the internal resources to develop these types of campaigns to deliver this service that will help grow their business. And we recognize that somebody who isn't quite as large as Target doesn't have that.
Right.
And so that's when we took the time to really take a look at the market, find those products, the hardware, the software, to put everything together so that we could deliver something for those businesses. And so it wasn't a straight path by any means from leaving my corporate job to screen content management, but it's been a pretty exciting journey. And as far as development and all of that, I really have to give a lot of credit to my partner, Greg Chambers.
Sure.
He was very visionary for it and could see the vision. I would say he could forecast it much sooner than I was. So there was a little kicking on my part to get to the same place. But here we are today, and I'm really thrilled and excited about what it is that we can provide to businesses. And we really just hear really incredible feedback from our businesses, and the fact that it's the cost is not really much different than premium cable.
Sure.
And so it's swapping something that has a lot of negatives to their business as far as what's being delivered to their customers to something that actually benefits their business. So I'm very proud that we can offer this at a rate that is affordable for businesses, and a product that I can be really proud of.
Oh, very good. And just to kind of go into a little detail about some of the negatives that could be an option, so to speak, could you talk a little bit about if someone would want to use a slideshow on a thumb drive, for example, or maybe ad-based services or a DVD? Well, you touched upon the DVD, Hulu Netflix option. Just a couple of those things, and looking at the pros and cons of those versus investing in your services and having that content featured.
There's a lot of options out there for businesses, and maybe screen content management isn't an option for everyone. When they reach a point in their business where they'd like to have something custom like this, I'd love it if they'd give me a call.
Sure.
But I do recognize not everyone is there. And so if you want to not have that cable option, and I use cable kind of as a euphemism, cable or satellite, whatever you might use as the delivery mechanism, then there are some other options. Some of the reasons that cable is maybe not a great idea is there's no ability to control what's being displayed on screen.
Right.
There could be a breaking news story of some very tragic event, such as Newtown shootings or something.
Yes.
And if you maybe serve a lot of young clientele, that's something that could be very disturbing to your guests in your business.
Yes.
And so you have no control over what's being displayed. So that's true of the entertainment content as well as the commercials. And people who are buying ad time are very savvy about when to advertise. And during the day, you will see a lot of advertising for medical and for attorneys and things like that, because that's when people are out and about visiting their doctors and sitting in their waiting room.
That's right. Yes.
And so if you're a dentist and you've got patients in your lobby, and the next thing you hear sing out is, call 867-1111, call Abby, and you're not Abby Dental, it can be a bit embarrassing.
I agree.
So I think that cable TV is probably not a really great option for businesses. Some of the other options are to develop a slideshow of images. You can use there's a lot of programs out there that can help you add text or borders around. Cell phones take amazing pictures today
Yeah,
in
they do.
really great resolution. And so you could do some things that can create engaging slideshow, ask for call to actions for people to join you on social media and things like this. So if you're not ready to use someone like Screen Content Management, that's an option for you. One thing that you'll want to keep in mind is that someone will need to maintain that, and you'll need to have kind of a bulk of entertainment. If you're in the medical field at all, your patients wait on average, the AMA guidelines indicate, based on surveys, 30 minutes.
Yes.
And so you will need 30 minutes
Ah, good point.
that you will need to fill.
Yes.
Because if it becomes repetitive, people will turn away. Our brains are designed to turn away. So you want to be sure that you're filling it with enough content. You'll also want to be sure that that content is changing. If you're coming back to your dentist every 6 months to get your teeth cleaned, but you've seen that same slideshow on a loop for the last 2 years,
Good point.
your brain turns away
Yes.
and you no longer watch. So that's something that'll need constant attention. You could add videos to that loop. Some modern televisions will play videos within that. You'll have a much easier time with static images on a loop.
Okay.
With a thumb drive. You may still need some additional equipment. Regardless of what you use, it will require someone to be managing those things. Otherwise, it kind of just becomes something that your guests are no longer paying attention to.
Right.
As we mentioned, the DVDs, there's a copyright issue there, so I would just caution businesses to understand their risk. We all take risks every day, so you just have to evaluate if it's a risk you're willing to take for your business or not, you know. So there's other options to Screen Content Management. But when it is time, I'd love it if they'd give me a call.
Oh, absolutely. And speaking of fresh look and new content, what is the process that's involved when someone says, okay, we featured this content for about a month, and we'd like to make something fresh or new? What is the process that's involved with that?
That's a great point, because with Screen Content Management, that is something that we're hyper aware of, is making sure that things are staying fresh so that the people who have entered into our customers' business are seeing new and different information. So that includes the entertainment or the edutainment that we have, as well as some of their marketing messages. We have scheduled content as well. We just had Father's Day here a few weeks ago. And so for those kinds of general holidays, we'll run small messages that, say Happy Holidays from, the Women's Business Center.
Oh, very nice.
Type of a thing. And so those are scheduled pieces of content that run maybe 2 weeks before. And then, of course, after Father's Day, we pull that down so that it doesn't appear dated. As far as marketing campaigns for different things they're doing, we have one of our customers has a guac off that is a fundraising campaign for the Animal Foundation.
Oh, yes.
Or the Humane Society. It's for animals. But so leading up to this fundraiser for a guacamole tasting contest, we have content that we play for them. And then when the event happens, then that content comes out of their campaign. But we do have scheduled content, and it can be true of even, for example, a restaurant that has happy hour pricing. So at 3 o'clock, it can begin advertising. 4 o'clock, we've got these great appetizer specials. Stick around and enjoy a great appetizer, or have a drink. Or we work with one of the family fun centers in town, Flippin' Out Extreme, and they have specific nights that are designed for college students. Or for homeschooled children. They say bring your kids in for recess here at Flippin' Out Extreme. So that can be timed content that plays based on the message that you're trying to deliver to the exact group of people who are in your business.
That's excellent. I'm so happy that that you can convey what your service is in a very concise way, and very informative as well. And it's very clear to me to say that, okay, this is an option for people that are starting a business or that have established businesses, and in order to showcase who you are and what you do to your captive audience of clients that are waiting for you in the lobby of your business, or who have an appointment with you, or what have you, and you really can capitalize on this type of service to showcase who you are and what you do, besides relying upon the risk of a DVD, showing a DVD and a copyright infringement, and other types of factors that are involved. So I think this is fantastic. So to kind of like summarize a couple things, Jennifer, as an established business owner or a startup business owner, what are some key things that you would recommend when it comes to content management and the services that you provide?
So one of the key things is for any business that is using a cable or satellite provider is to really evaluate, is this helping me advance my business?
Right.
Any business owner has to look at all the bills that are being paid out of their business and evaluate what makes the most sense. Most businesses purchase cable to be displayed because they need something to occupy their guests' time as they're waiting in their business, or to encourage them to stay longer. In the example of, say, a restaurant or a bar, they want them to stay longer so that they're ordering more of their food and beverage while they're there. And just evaluate, does this really advance our business needs? And if it doesn't, then take a look at what other alternatives are there and how to best achieve them. Look at what are some things we could be doing different. Modern televisions today are really powerful. Just the fact that you can plug a USB in there. You can plug in screen content management with the HDMI in there, and you can really change the message that you're delivering to the guests in your business and really put forth what message you want. Some of the things I would strongly encourage businesses to consider for their message. Social media is powerful today. It is a very powerful platform, and the greater voice that you have across the social platforms, for you, that's part of your external outreach to pull those people in. So engage as much as you can with your guests on social media, and the best way to do that is to just ask them to do it. People do what you ask, and so ask them, like us on Facebook, follow us on Instagram. When you Instagram your food, please use hashtag, and claim a hashtag. And when your guests do that, reshare, like, favorite those images. That would be probably number one, is to put in that engagement with social media, and then help your guests get to know who you are, get to know you, get to know your staff, and build that relationship before they even interact with anybody within your business, because people buy from people they like.
Absolutely.
And let them get to like you. Let them get to see you running the Susan G. Komen walk because they have a family member who suffered from breast cancer, and that's something important to them. So build that engagement as quick as you could. So those would be probably the two priorities, I would say, if somebody wanted to look at executing something like this on their own.
Oh, very good. And basically, what would be your recommendation if someone would like to call you for a consultation, or to get more information about your services and connecting with you?
Well, I will tell you this: I'm not a high pressure salesperson.
Oh,
so
I know that. Very engaging.
So don't worry, I'm not going to slide a contract across the table on our first meeting. I'd love to just talk to anybody who'd like to hear how we might be able to help. And I would just invite you to call our office. Our office number is 702-331-2033. That's 702-331-2033. Or I can be reached on email, Jennifer at Screen Content Management. You can find me on Instagram at Screen Content Management, on Facebook at Screen Content Management. And I'd love to have any kinds of conversations people might have. If people aren't ready for screen content management and would like to run some slideshow or things on their own, I still would love to be able to talk to you about that and provide advice and things like that.
Okay, excellent. Well, this has been Such a delight in having you here today, Jennifer, and thank you so much for sharing an option that people in business can explore in reference to showcasing who they are and what they do through their own customized content within their place of business, to basically steal the show and, be the main character in the script, so to speak. So thank you so much for your
Thank you,
expertise, and thank you so much for sharing, and thank you so much for those of you that have tuned into this live stream webinar of best TV practices. So if you have any questions, please give me a call at the Nevada Women's Business Center at area code 702-734-3555, or check us out online at www.nevadawbc.com. Also, Jennifer, what is your website?
Our website it's a long one, like my email address, but it's www.screencontentmanagement.com.
Okay. And check them out because their website really does explain who they are and what they do, and it's definitely a viable option for you to explore. So thank you so much, and again, thanks again,
me.
Jennifer, definitely, and enjoy your day. Bye. Yay.